Hello and welcome back to Reading with Mo. I'm excited to share with you guys my reading plans for the month of June. I have quite a lot of books that I have on my radar that I would like to get to. Realistically, I'm not going to get to all these books, but there's just so many I want to read that I'm going to try and get to as many as I can. But I know, as usual, this is going to be a very ambitious TBR video. So let's just get straight into them. I have two books that I'm currently reading right now. I'll share those with you. And then I have a few physical books from my shelves that I'm going to try and get to. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys all the books that are coming out in the month of June and which ones, well, not all the books, but all the ones that are on my radar, I should say. That would be a very long video. It's just about 10 books that are coming out this month that have caught my attention. Obviously, I'm not going to read all 10, but I would like to get to at least a few of them if I'm able to get access to them through my Libby app. That's pretty much primarily where I read all of my new releases because nobody has new release money. Okay, they're expensive, and a lot of times I don't know if I'm gonna like them for sure or not. So I'll read them first, and then add them to my wish list or buy them at some later date if I do really love them. So let's get into the books that I've already started so far. So I usually like to always have a physical book and an audiobook going at once. I have been reading these last two books for quite some time. I have been very busy. The first one was Water Moon. This is a physical book I have going on right now, and it's not even that long. I just am finding it hard to find time to read the last few weeks. Since I got back from my honeymoon, I feel like I've just been like on go, and so I haven't really had time to read. But I think I have about like 100-ish pages left of this. I actually started this back in January. This is a fantasy book. It starts off in a pawn shop where people can pawn their regrets, and we're following our main character as she's taking over as her father retires, but then he goes missing and she ends up going on this adventure with this other guy to try to figure out what's going on with her dad before something bad happens. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not going to give a whole review, obviously, because I haven't finished the book yet. But yeah, I'm going to finish this for sure in the next couple of days. And then I'm listening to the audiobook for Iron Flame by Rebecca Yaros. And oh my god, this audiobook is so long. I think I've checked this out at least 3 different times from my library. I think partially is like, I don't know, I liked Fourth Wing enough to continue on with the next book, but I just don't know if maybe I should just physically read this book, but whatever. I'm like so close to being done with it. I think I have like 5 hours left of the audiobook to listen to, which I know still sounds like a lot, but this book is like almost 30 hours long, I think. And I don't think I really need to explain too much. Fourth Wing is a romantasy book that is everywhere right now as a series. And right now I'm debating on if I'm going to continue on or not. Last I heard, there's supposed to be like 5 books in this series, and so far, um, I mean, maybe depending on how the last part of it goes, I'll continue on, but I don't know. I don't know if the series is for me. If it was one more book and that was it, maybe I would continue on, but I'm just not really that invested, I guess, in any of the characters, and I'm kind of already getting confused on who's who and stuff, so we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Then I pulled a selection of books that I'm interested in reading for one reason or another from my shelves. The first one we have is a newish release, and that is The Woman in the Wallpaper by Laura Jones. This is a very beautiful special edition with sprayed edges. I just am a sucker for sprayed edges. I hope this is focusing. I purchased this through Goldsboro Books. This is actually a signed edition, so I really hope I like this. I don't typically buy new releases, like I said, right away, but this was like a special edition. So with those, you have to hop on while you can. And yeah, it's a very beautifully made edition. This was my first purchase from Goldsboro Books, but definitely not my last. This is a historical fiction mystery, I believe. It's set in Paris in 1789. And it seems like, yeah, it's set during the Revolution, and we're following the story of 2 sisters who make a friendship with a guy who is the motherless heir to the factory that they work at. And there's a lot of like political stuff going on. I do enjoy historical fiction from time to time, so I'm hoping I'll really like that one because I want to keep it on my shelves because it's so beautiful, but I'm not going to if I don't like it. I'm trying to just get to like special editions of books and read them right away instead of letting them sit on my shelves for so long. And so another one I have is the young adult book, and this is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I believe the second book is already out, and maybe the third one's going to be released soon. This one has some nice sprayed edges as well. Sprayed edges are propaganda that I do fall for, unfortunately. This book is described as part historical fantasy, part rivals to lovers romance, and part gothic mystery. Those all sound like things that are very interesting to me, so let's hope this one's good. Then we have a book that is the conclusion of a trilogy, and that is Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. I've been going back and forth if I wanted to read this book physically or if I wanted to listen to the audiobook, but this is just such a beautiful edition that feel like I have to read from this copy. This is from Fairy Loot signed edition. I swear, I just spend all my money on special editions of books, and I'm not even mad about it because they bring me so much dopamine. But this is the third and final book in the trilogy of following Emily Wilde, and I can't really say much about it because it is the conclusion without spoilers, but I do really enjoy the story. I'm excited to see like where the characters go. I hope I really remember the stuff that happened in the last two books because I did read them quite some time ago. But usually authors are pretty good at helping you like jump back into the world, especially when it's been a while since the last one came out. This is, I would describe to me as kind of like a cozy-ish fantasy series. Definitely something I've gotten into recently because like I feel like all the books almost have mentioned so far are fantasy books in this TBR. I promise you guys, if you are into fantasy, that I am a very new fantasy reader, and there's going to be more books featured in this TBR that are not fantasy. But speaking of that, I'm going to put my foot in my mouth with the next one, and that is Gardens of the Moon by Stephen Erickson. I've had this book on my shelves for far too long. I probably should not be starting so many series. Broken Binding currently has a beautiful edition or set of these book series, and I want to purchase them while they're still available through them. I don't want to have to purchase them like later on for a more expensive resale price, but I want to make sure I like the series before I commit to spending that much money on the books because they have the first three out right now, and I think the second two are available to pre-order until like August or something, or the second set of three. So I'm going to start this one and finish it and see how I like it to see if this is a series I'm going to commit to reading or not. With this book, I kind of want to go into it without knowing too much. So I'm not going to read the blurb on the back for this. I know this is a very popular fantasy series. And so, yeah, we'll give this a try and see if it's for me or not. While I should really be focusing on reading more of the physical books that I have here on my shelves, I do have some other books that I am interested in getting to over the next month. Currently, I have some books that are out on Libby. These are all audiobooks, and that's typically how I mentioned before I do my new releases is audiobooks through Libby. I'll just let you guys know what I currently have checked out right now. I may or may not get to these, but I have Lore of the Wilds, which is another young adult fantasy. I think it's duology, and it's by Annalise Brana. It's a romantasy debut about an enchanted library, two handsome fae, and one human who brings them all together. There is a very beautiful fairy loot edition of this book that I would like to purchase, but I'm gonna start listening to the audiobook first to see if I like the book or not. And then Fairy Loot, I believe, is doing a pre-order for the second book within the next month or two. So I'm trying to read the first one to see if I want to commit to reading this series as well. So wish me luck. I am very ambitious this month. And now that's not even touching on the rest. Okay, so the rest of the books that I have on Libby checked out as audiobooks. I do have an audiobook of A Study in Drowning, so that will help me get a little head start on the things that I have physically that I want to read. I also checked out this other historical fiction book called The Lion Women of Tehran by Marjan Kamali. This is set against three transformative decades in Tehran, Iran, and I think it's like back and forth between people in the same family, I believe. I'm not exactly sure on that one, but I have heard good things about that book, and it's been on my wanting to read since it came out. I have the audiobook for Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, which I wanted to pick this one up because I heard they're going to be making it into a movie, and there's also like a really pretty edition out right now, which is not also kind of an incentive to read it. So I can buy that if I want to. And this is another fantasy. I guess I'm just really in a fantasy mood right now, even though I would say it's not even like my favorite genre, but it's just what I'm in the mood for. So I'm just going to keep with it until I get burnt out, I guess. And it's an enemies to lovers story. Um, it sounds like, yeah, just romantasy. We're going into it and we'll see what happens. Then we have Dream Count by Shimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I was so about Americana, but I really did love Half of a Yellow Sun. So I want to give this author another try. And in this one, we're following our main character, who's a Nigerian travel writer living in America, who's alone amidst the pandemic, and she's recalling her past lovers and grapples with her choices and regrets. Okay, so now that you guys have taken a peek into my Libby account, I also have a lot of stuff on hold. I think my holds are maxed out as always at 15, so maybe something from there will pop up. Maybe not. We'll see. Probably will be pushing the deliver later button as usual many times. Let's move on to the books that are coming out in the month of June that I'm interested in. There are 10 new releases this month that have caught my eye, and about half of them are like ones I know for sure I want to get to this month, and the other half are like, if I can, if not, hopefully at some later date in the future. But I did still want to share them with you guys in case there's something that you haven't heard of that you would like to check out that comes out this month. First, we have Flashlight by Susan Choi, and this novel is tracing a father's disappearance across time, nations, and memory from the author of Chest Exercise. We're following Louisa and her father. They take a walk on the beach. He's carrying a flashlight. He can't swim. And then later, Louisa is found washed up by the tide, barely alive. Her father is gone, and she's 10 years old. And then the chapters shift from one member to the next, turning back again and again to that night by the sea. So we have Meet Me at the Crossroads by Megan Giddings. I read Megan Giddings' other book, Lakewood, and I really thought that book was good. And while I liked it, I didn't like love that book. I don't even think I have it on my shelves still. I think I probably got rid of that in my huge purge when I moved. But I am interested in picking up another book by this author, and this is a mystery thriller about two sisters and what happens to their undeniable bond when a mysterious and possibly perilous new world beckons. One day, the world's changed because these seven mysterious doors appear, and they all seem to lead to another world, new dimensions, and everybody is mesmerized and intrigued. But people soon learn that what looks like paradise may very well be filled with danger. So this one seems a little bit more like kind of like some speculative mystery thriller, some fantasy thrown in there. So I'm interested to see how this goes. Then we have a mystery thriller called So Happy Together by Olivia Worley. I definitely love to read books that seem like they have unhinged female characters, and this one is exactly that. So we're following Jane and Colin. They're soulmates. He just doesn't know it yet. For 24-year-old Jane, finding love in New York City is even harder than making it as a playwright. So when she meets Colin, she can't believe her luck, that they're perfect for each other. Even when he breaks it off after 6 dates, she knows this is just a stumbling block and she will get him back. That is until he starts dating Zoe, who is perfect. And she's actually kind of nice, which makes it worse. But Zoe doesn't have what it takes to be in love with Colin, and all Jane has to do is prove it, so they'll be together. So she sneaks into his apartment and makes a shocking discovery, one that will ensnare them all in a dark web of lies, secrets, and murder. And then next is my probably most anticipated book for sure for the month of June. It's called The Catch by Ursa Daly Ward. This is the first book in the Well Read Black Girl books series, and I'm very excited to get my hands on this book. I will at some point this month be buying it because my library does not have it. They have it, but the holds list is so long. Let me just check real quick and I'll let you guys know how long I would have to wait. I mean, maybe I'll wait, but right now I'm just itching to really start reading this book. But I'm on hold for the ebook and the audiobook, and both of them are extremely long waits right now. The physical book right now is at about an 8-week wait, and the audiobook is at 19 weeks. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Most likely, I will be purchasing a physical copy of this book. But let me just tell you what it's about. So it's a darkly whimsical tale of women daring to live and create with impunity. We're following twin sisters who've always struggled to relate, their familiar bond severed after their mother vanished into the Thames. As infants, they were adopted to live in different families. One of them's more like the upper class, and the other one was more of like was with a sullen, unaffectionate city councilor. In adulthood, they are content to be estranged until Clara sees a woman who looks exactly like their mother in the streets of London. Sounds like a very interesting thing. The catch is, because the title of the book is called The Catch, this version of Serene, their mother, has not aged a day, has enjoyed a childless life, the very life it seems she might have had if the girls were never born. So is this speculative fiction? Is what it's sounding like, and it's just sounding like so good. Please, I just need this book to live up to the hype that I have built up in my mind about it. Then we have Camilla's Roses by Bernice L. McFadden. I have some of Bernice's books, I think, on like my wish list or something that I have not read yet, but I'm planning on reading it. Sugar, and I think it might have had a follow up as well. But in this book, we are following the story of a woman who uncovers the fragility of life and the enduring strength of family love. Camilla, her childhood was immersed in love and chaos and steeped in perfection. As an adult, she hasn't looked back, refusing to acknowledge the people and places that scared her so many years ago, or scarred her. But a cancer diagnosis forces Camilla to turn to the past and all its pain to save her daughter. Then we have The Great Man by Kyra Davis Lurie. It's a retelling of The Great Gatsby, and it's set amongst LA's black elite. A young veteran finds his way post war, pulled into a new world of tantalizing possibilities and explosive tensions. We're following Charlie in 1945. He gets off of a cross country train into LA, and he's lured there by his cousin Marguerite's invitation to the esteemed West Adam Heights, and he's immediately captivated by the black opulence of LA's newly rechristened Sugar Hill. I don't really want to read too much more into this, but it sounds so good. Greek Gatsby retelling. This is definitely one that's high up on my priorities. Then we have another book that's probably going to be one of the most talked about books in all honesty for the month of June, and that is because Riley Sager is releasing his book with a vengeance. Everybody loves to read his books and give their critiques on whether they think it's good or not, and I am no better than anybody else. I will continue to read Riley Sager's books, and this one is in this mystery thriller. I should say, it says One Chain, No Stops, a deadly game of survival and revenge. In 1942, 6 people destroyed Anna Matheson's family. 12 years later, she's ready for retribution. She has lured all those people who were responsible for her family's downfall into a luxury train from Philadelphia to Chicago, and it's a journey of 13 hours. So we have the whole isolated mystery here. As they're all on the train, it becomes clear that someone else on board is taking their own form of revenge, and they won't stop until everyone else is dead. Then we have Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This, surprise, surprise, is a romance book, and I'm starting to dabble in romance here. And I say dabble, I mean very lightly dabble. I am just not a huge romance reader, but occasionally there are ones that do reach out to me, and this is one of them. I actually read another book by this author last month called A Novel Love Story, and I enjoyed it. Like, they're not my favorite books of all time, but they're a good time, they're entertaining. And in this one, we're following a hit-making songwriter and a bitter musician who share a startling and inexplicable connection. It's a really pretty edition that Fairy Loot is putting available for pre-order on June 24th. So I will probably be ordering that one. So I'm probably not going to read it this month because I doubt that it will get to me in the mail in time to read in June. So I'll probably read this one in July. Next, we have Wearing the Lion by John Wiswell. This is a fantasy Greek mythology retelling, and it's following the story of Hercules. And a humanizing and humorous touch to the Hercules story, changing the way we understand the man behind the myth. Sometimes the goddess's worst enemy is her biggest fan. Heracles, hero of Greece, dedicates all his feats to the gorgeous Hera. If only he knew that his very face is an insult to her, as he is yet another child that Hera's husband Zeus had out of wedlock. I just, in general, love reading Greek mythology retellings. Some definitely are better than others, and I just am along for the fun time of it. Then, lastly, we have The Tiny Things Are Heavier by Esther Ifesinachi Okonkwo. This is a debut novel about a Nigerian immigrant as she tries to find her place at home and in America, a powerful epic about love, grief, family, and belonging. And the cover on this one is just so beautiful. I hope I love this book because I would really love to add it to my shelf. So those are all the new releases that I'm interested in June. The ones that I'm most interested in, though, I will let you guys know which ones I'm going to try and prioritize. Meet Me at the Crossroads, the one by Megan Giddings. The Catch. Hopefully, I'll be purchasing that one. The Riley Sager one, of course. Come on, I have to read that one. Camilla's Roses, The Great Man, and The Tiny Things Are Heavier. Although with The Tiny Things Are Heavier, It comes out June 24th, so by the time I get a copy of it from my library, it probably won't be until July. So that means it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I'm going to try to get to this month. We'll see. And then before I go, I almost forgot. There's one other book that is definitely going on this list because it's my book club book. I just recently joined a book club here in South Florida. Just looking forward to being able to meet and talk about books in person. I am sad that I missed, like last month, we all read When the Moon Hatched, and I wasn't able to make it to the club meeting because it was on a day that I already had other obligations. But I'm hoping that for this month, we're going to read One Italian Summer and I will be there. This is by Rebecca Searle. The theme this month that we had to vote on were books that were in the romance category, which one romance, I couldn't tell you from the ones that were on the list to choose, like it could have been any of them. I didn't really have a preference on which one won. But yeah, I'm really excited because I feel like this very much sounds like a summer read. Like, come on, the book is called One Italian Summer. And even though it's super rainy right now here in Florida, I will be able to live vicariously through someone who is somewhere where the climate is very nice. I'm not really going to overly look into that one because I know I'm reading it, or at least I'm going to attempt to read it for the book club. We'll see if I finish it. With a book club, there's no obligation that you have to finish the book. So if I start it and I'm not enjoying it, I don't have to finish it. So that is it, my very ambitious June TBR. Let me know if you guys think I should prioritize any of these books for the month, and also let me know what you guys are reading this month too. Thanks for supporting my channel as I make my way back into posting regularly. My next video will hopefully be up within the next few days, talking about where I've been, like a little bit of a life update, and all of the books I've read so far this year I want to review, so that will probably be a lengthy video. Look out for that soon. I've been really itching to record lately, but I have had so many factors that have been holding me back. Mainly my mic for my camera was being really weird. Like, I had recorded some videos, the sound didn't even come through, and I was just like honestly so annoyed and discouraged for a while. But I think I have come across a solution that will work for me so that my audio doesn't sound terrible. But this is my first time recording on this mic, so hopefully it is not too bad for you guys. I will have no idea until I'm going to go edit this right now. But that's enough rambling on. I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you very soon. Bye.